Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to be going over jungle tracking and how to track the enemy jungler and pretty much using that information, what can you do with it, how to get that information in the first place, and we're going to go through it in the VOD replays. And so we'll be going over my high elo games that I played, and we're going to be going over how I track the enemy jungler. So yeah, I do read chat messages, so feel free to spam questions in the chat from time to time in between replays, and I can pick up those, pretty good questions there. So let's head over into this replay. So this is actually a really high elo game that I played, where I played against Broxa. So let's take a look at how I pathed and how I tracked the enemy jungler here. Lower the music, or we'll pause the music for now. So tracking the enemy jungler is not only just a jungle specific role, it's actually really good to track the enemy jungler even if you're playing, AD carry support, mid, top, because it's good to basically know whether you can play aggressive, whether you can't, depending on where the jungler is. Because it is really annoying when you're about to win your lane and then jungle comes and then you get fucked by a gank. So it's good to track the enemy jungler no matter what role you're playing. So make sure to always think about the enemy jungler even if you're a laner, and this is going to be really important. Who do I main jungle? So I main Lee Sin jungle. I prefer Lee Sin jungle. It's one of my favorite junglers in the game. It's been around forever. So in this game, let me just explain the jungle game plan very briefly, because you always want to have a good idea of what your lanes are up to, just so you have a decent idea of what's going on in the enemy jungler's mind. So the top matchup is Wukong versus Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is very easily gankable because he has no mobility. So there's a chance that Nidalee's trying to path top early game and start red and try and gank Fiddlesticks because it's Fiddlesticks top with no mobility. Mid lane, it's Zed versus Orianna. So it's very hard to gank Zed unless he uses W, and Orianna has no CC until 6, so Nidalee's probably going to stay away from the mid lane. And then the other thing is bot lane. So bot lane is Galio versus Soraka, and Senna versus Aphelios. So enemy bot lane has a lot of gank setup on our bot lane, because our bot lane is double range. They're trying to poke and all that. So, but their enemy bot lane is trying to engage. So we can just assume that Nidalee is probably going to be looking for top gank early or bottom lane gank later on. So we're probably going to guess that Nidalee is going to start red. And I'm going to be starting blue buff because I want to cover for the Fiddlesticks, getting ganked up here. So let's turn to my vision, and we'll run through the jungle pathing.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And so I start blue here. And at this point, this is the most important part, is kind of just seeing where the enemy starts at level 1. Especially in low elo, you'll get this information every single time. In higher elo, people don't leash as much because junglers like to solo start to hide their, ganks. So that's actually one reason why I'm solo starting here, is to hide where I started. But actually, enemies bot lane leash for Nidalee. So now we know that Nidalee's on red buff. And so what does this mean if Nidalee is full clearing to top? That means that by the time I path to top, she'll be around top side too. So we have mirrored pathing, and this is the first thing that you have to learn as a jungler in tracking the enemy jungler. Even if you're just a laner too. If your jungler started bot lane and his jungler started bot lane, they're probably going to be in top side of the jungle around the same time. So what this means is that top lane should ward for level 3 by the time that the junglers finish the clear. So I'm doing my clear, and so right now we're gonna guess that Nidalee is around the blue quadrant. And this is the reason why is because we both started bottom. She's probably around the blue quadrant. because she's also pathing up. So if we go to all vision right here, she's about to head to the blue quadrant after this raptor camp. I'm guessing it's taking a little bit longer for her because she probably went for a healthier clear. Usually junglers, or a full clear. Usually junglers, skip one of these camps. So we see that she's on raptors right now. But it's the same concept. She's gonna be pathing up right here. So we go to my vision. We finish this camp. And we have a good idea that she's around this area. So it's pretty obvious that we're both junglers are on the top side of the map. And now we can play for Scuttle Crab. So I'm gonna play for Scuttle Crab here. And that's just gonna be a very obvious play because I'm stronger, I'm level 4, and I have top push. And mid push is even, so this doesn't matter too much. Top push, I have top push, and I'm stronger, so I'm gonna go for the Scuttle Crab. So we fight her off as a Scuttle Crab. And what does this mean for Nidalee? So this means that Nidalee is gonna go for bottom Scuttle, because that's the other Scuttle on the other side of the map. So this is what I do. So notice my pings. Notice that I pinged this. Those 2 pings were me. So you see I click signal to be careful. It's important that when you track the enemy jungler, you also let your team know. Because if you don't let your team know, then only you are holding that information, and the other teammates are not going to be able to, react as well. So for example, let's say like my bot lane had no idea that the enemy jungler is on bottom scuttle. They would just freaking trade, Q in, and then Galio can set up a flash engage, and then that's a double kill for them. So it's really important when you're tracking the enemy jungler that you let them know, give everybody the information. So this is important. And then now, another interesting thing is that I know that Nidalee's Gromp is up because we counted her CS. So she's at 20 CS right now. You need 24 CS for a full clear because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 would be 24, I think. Yeah, I didn't do math in a while, but yeah, that's right. And then that means that her Gromp is up. So we're going to take her Gromp. And this is actually really, really nuts because now I'm backing with, a 12 CS lead. So that's basically 3 camp lead, and it's only been 4 minutes. So this is actually insane. This is why it's good to track the enemy junglers clear. And now I already have a huge advantage just from level 4 clear. So now, if you take a look at my back, I have enough gold to get Stalker's Blade and Longsword at 4 minutes. This is insane, by the way, because right now, if you take a look at the gold, I'm at 1,580 gold, most gold in the game, because I was able to counter jungle Gromp, as well as secure Scuttle Crab, as well as all 6 of my camps. And not only that, but now my camps are respawning. And this is actually important to note as well, is that because Nidalee started bottom, and I started bottom too, so that means our camps will respawn from bottom to top lane. So we can assume that Nidalee's going to be on double golems here right now, while I'm doing Gromp, that she's probably pathing towards the top lane as well. Because look at how her raptors spawn as, her wolves spawn right now. And it's very easy to tell. So this is actually pretty crucial, because look at how I track the enemy jungler again over here. Look at that one ping right there. I pinged right here. If we go to all vision, Nidalee's around this area. Like, we're not actually map hacking. We don't know exactly where she is, but we're giving a general ping idea. So because she's pathing bot to top, she's probably going to be around the top area because her camps are spawning around the top area because she started bottom at around this time. 5 minutes 40, her Gromp is going to spawn. So we ping topside, and there she is. So we know that Broxah is going to go to his Gromp. Look, I double pinged there again. And it's not stream sniping, it's because her Gromp is spawning. And we know that, I took the Gromp myself. So I know that it's going to spawn around this time because of the indicator on the map. And also I know that her camps are bot to top. So because I ping this, these double pings here, This signals, my top lane to, not get too low so that Nidalee can come and, kill her. And this also signals that I can probably just do dragon. And look, my Fiddlesticks use that information to get a ward. So the effigy is pretty much a ward. And I'm going for dragon here. And it's a very easy dragon because I know where Nidalee is. I knew that Nidalee was top when I started and that she's pathing down. So she wouldn't have too much time to get here to stop me. I still should have pulled it out, hindsight, because Nidalee's very fast and she was actually able to get in the pit and it became a 50-50. Thank God I won the 50-50 and we also win the fight here. Let's take a look at this fight. So yeah, that was a pretty good fight. And we look to dive bottom. There's some interesting dives. We're kind of like corralling them under tower here. And yeah, the game's pretty much over. And this is basically because I was able to track her pathing all the way up to like 5 minutes. So I knew exactly where Nidalee was from, first clear to second clear. Used it to start dragging, used it to take his Gromp, used it to prevent Nidalee from being able to get a single gank off this game. She has to gank my lanes because I have a Aphelios Soraka bottom. It's a poke lane, right? And Galio has gank set up, but we were able to track Nidalee's clear so that basically my laners could play safe whenever she's, on the opposite side of the map. And then same thing with Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks was able to, play safe every single time that Nidalee was pathing top. So we were able to see exactly where Broxa was going for pretty much the first 5 minutes. And we pretty much had map packs for first 5 minutes. And it was just based off of camp respawns. So use camp respawns in order to track the enemy jungler. Another idea that you can do to track the enemy jungler easier, especially in low elo, is basically using wards. So in lower elo, this is probably going to be even more effective, is if you ward enemy camps. So for example, if you ward raptors, when you see the enemy doing raptors, that's a ton of information because then you'll see 3 paths that he can take after raptors. So he can take, raptors into river, he can take raptors into the bush, that means he's heading to blue side quadrant. He can take raptors into bottom side, that means he's staying in the bottom side quadrant. So this is the best ward for a jungler, is if you ward the enemy raptors every single time, because then you'll be able to track, oh, he's going to bottom, oh, he's going to top, oh, he's trying to gank mid. And basically, you'll be able to track where he is for about a minute if he shows on this raptor ward right here. And same thing if you want to track the intersection of the Gromp, the wolves, double golems, but I prefer the raptor one because it is closer to the center of the map and it tracks more intersections too. So if you really want to apply this in your games, try to ward here. And the number one thing to figure out whether the enemy jungler is starting bottom or starting top is warding the first camp or seeing if he leashes. So that's actually pretty important. So either see where he starts by warding the starting camp that usually junglers like to start on, or see if they leash. Either that or you can assume they start bottom in low elo because everybody likes to start bottom low elo because they like having 2 players leash for them. It's not actually like the best thing to assume, but probably 90% chance that junglers start bottom, probably playing to path top. They'll be in top side quadrant by around 3 minutes. They'll finish all that base, be in bot side quadrant by around 4:30ish, 4 minutes to 5 minutes, and then path back up. They'll be in top side quadrant by around 5:40 again if they start bottom, and it's reversed if they start top. So it's important to remember like kind of these numbers as well, because if you just watch a lot of jungle VODs, a lot of replays, you'll figure out the timings of when junglers will be where, depending on if they full clear or not. Most junglers full clear, so this is why it's easier to track. If a jungler is ganking a lot, then you can just track based off of like every single time they gank a lane, whether they go bot or top jungle, and then you'll have a decent idea. So this is pretty important, and it's actually important to just ward for vision. So if you can't do all of that, like all of that math in your head, it can be very, very complicating. Then just ward, and then you have your information through warding. So using your pink ward steep, like here, or using your pink ward here, or here, using warding trinkets in the enemy raptors, using warding trinkets in the enemy blue quadrant intersection. These are good areas to see where they go and which quadrant they are in. So this is actually important. Also, another important thing is just to counter jungle. So if you counter jungle a lot, then you'll be able to gain information through counter jungling. So that's really important. Alright, so let's leave this game. Alright, any questions in the chat? Any questions at all? So we'll take some time to answer some questions in the chat. Why do junglers build Dark Seal? When they're snowballing, they can get stacks easier. They can upgrade to Medjais. Rek'Sai good for low elo. Rek'Sai is good for low elo. Is Platinum high elo? I wouldn't consider Platinum high elo. I'd consider Diamond 1 plus higher elo. What is the best carry item for Trundle? Just tank items is completely fine. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for asking, Vix. How to gank and not stay behind. So play around laners that have good gank setups. So for example, Leona, Nautilus, Galio. What is the best moment to counter jungle? Best moment to counter jungle is if you have prio or pushing lanes. When do you prioritize Herald or Dragon? So you want to prioritize Dragon if you have bot and mid prio. You want to prioritize Herald if you have top and mid prio. When are the best timers for junglers to base? When you have a lot of gold, or to match your laner's recall. So for example, if your laner is basing, then you want to base with them so that you match timings to pressure on the map. Is Rammus good in a jungle 1v1? So Rammus is actually really good in a jungle 1v1. Recommend it actually. Huge recommendation if you want to play Rammus in lower elo. How to win versus two Smurfs duo? It's hard, man. I'm sorry. Sorry that you had to go through that. When is the best moment to counter jungle? When you're pushing lanes, definitely try to counter jungle. It's always better to do enemy jungle camps than your camps when you're prio, because it gives information so that your laners can't get ganked. Best jungler now. So best junglers that I would recommend are Graves, Olaf, Set, Lee Sin. For lower elo, Amumu, Mundo, AP Shyvana, Rammus. Easier to play junglers is good, so you can focus more on macro. And Trundle. How do you deal with people constantly blaming you? You just mute them. There's no way to deal with it besides muting them, because they're just venting. And it's always just a distraction if you're trying to, go back and forth. So it's better to focus on your own play. Will Ezreal jungle... Oh, missed the question. Would you suggest bot lane going mid after a good bot lane gank to help gank mid and maybe take tower? That's a good question. And actually that is a strategy. That is a super valid strategy. It's harder to pull off in lower elos, but if you can, it's really good because mid laners do not expect that. Echo is still viable for the jungle. Echo is really good. How do you decide when to gank? I feel pretty lost in that. So usually it's good to look at minion waves. So if the minion wave is freezing, or if it's bouncing back, that's when you can time your ganks around it. How to choose the jungle item? So the AP jungle item is good on mages. Tank jungle item is good on tanks. AD jungle item is good on bruisers / assassins. Or if you're talking about blue and red smite, blue is good against, range champions that you're trying to chase down. Red smite is good against bruisers that are trying to one-shot you and you can negate their damage. Alright guys, let's head into practice tool. And let's practice some jungle clears. So I want to show you guys some jungle clears. Let's do set first. So we're gonna go off topic here a little bit since we were on topic for a lot of the jungle tracking. And I want to show you guys my #1 recommendation for someone if trying to learn like a new champion in the jungle. So Set is actually a really good jungler right now. If you guys are watching the LCK SKT versus not sure the other team, let me look it up. It's DRX. So SKT versus DRX, I believe. Or Dragon X. Yeah. Dragon X versus SKT. There was a lot of Set jungle being played. Dragon X. Thank you for that, guys. So there's a lot of Set jungle played. And the runes that people are usually going for Set jungle is that they're usually going for the Phase Rush, Nimbus Cloak, then here they can go Celerity, Water Walking, X Flash, Cosmic Insight, 10% attack speed, and then they go this rune, they start Q, then E, then W, max Q, and then W. So let me give you guys a short rundown on Set jungle clear. Yeah, Cuz played it, I believe. Yep, Cuz did play it, and they smurfed that game. They played really well that game. Thoughts on Volibear jungle? Oh yes, Volibear jungle is really, really good too. I think it's especially OP in lower elo too, because people aren't as great as kiting, and AD carries don't necessarily know how to kite very well yet. So in lower elo, like Volibear is probably broken. He's already above 50% win rate, like way above 50% win rate, 53-4, which is pretty broken. It's in the broken numbers. So for Set jungle, you want to start Q, then E second. We're gonna fast forward. And basically, you want to use your passive in your Q as auto resets. So auto, then Q. So after the second right punch, then you use Q for the auto reset. And we'll actually just do a full clear top to top. And usually if a bot jungler is here right now, he just finished blue, you kind of like shadow box when you're tracking enemy jungler. You can smite the big double golems on that one. And now like probably he just finished Gromp. So we're kind of like shadow jungling right now. So he's probably walking to wolves. The enemy jungler is blue side, or he actually did blue to red. This is how you kind of like get a good idea of how to track an enemy jungler. Is you kind of like use the question mark pings. And you keep on guess and checking. So you might be bad at it, to begin with, but then like after a long time, your instincts will develop. So it's good to try, even if like you're wrong. So enemy jungler is probably like on top side quadrant if they started bottom. If he started red, then he's probably on bot side quadrant. And these are things that you kind of keep track of. You want to use your pings and keep on practicing that ability. So set jungle, you want to basically use your E in between minions so you get the stun. So one thing that you can do is you can do 2 camps at the same time. So you can pull them together and then W them both. So enemy jungler could possibly already have been on this scuttle crab, or he could be like on his double golems right now if he started upon him, if he didn't gank yet. Let me show you guys how to gank as Seth jungle. So this is pretty crucial. So for example, if you're trying to gank a top laner, you want to run at them with the Q move speed because you gain 30% move speed towards the enemy, but you don't want to use E yet until after they flash. So you want to E after they flash. And it's also good to gank when the minion wave is like about to run into you, because then you have extra minions. Because when Set smashes enemy on either side of him, they stun them instead of just the slow and the pull. So that's actually pretty nuts, especially if you're gank on that timing. Another important thing is when you do the Hex Flash Set gank build, it's actually good to use Flash early. It's like not bad to use Flash early. Of course, you want to save if you don't have to use it. But for example, you can do a lot of crazy gank routes with this. So for example, this doesn't show yet, so you want to Hex Flash when it comes up soon, just to be able to surprise them, because it gives you move speed boost too, because the Nimbus cloak, and then you gank here, boom. Same thing with here. If there's like an enemy mid laner here, you would X flash over, like you know he's here. Your mid laner is here to follow up. X flash over, boom, E. That's the gank right there. And then after 3 hits, you get the phase rush as well, so it's easier to kind of stay on the enemy champion. And then this is also basically very similar to Lee Sin, is if you are level 6, then using Hex Flash to insect laners are really easy. So very easy ganks, very easy dives. So if there's a laner right here, Hex Flash, boom. And then the guy's dead. So if you're looking for a new jungler to play, definitely would recommend Set, because like he's being played in professional play right now. He's just OP. They haven't nerfed him yet. He's still like one of the strongest top laners. So just because like he is like a strong top laner doesn't mean he can't be flexed to other roles. I think he's like really strong just because of his kit. Like he has like a giant shield, so he's really tanky, and his ulti sets up for ganks. Also, if you do the Hex Flash with the phase rush build that everybody's doing, then your gank setup is much easier, because the downside of Set is that his ganks, he doesn't have like a mobility spell. Well, now you have Hex Flash, that's pretty much your dash. And then you have E to set up the ganks, because this ability is pretty broken. And then your ulti as well to win 2v2s. So the build that you usually go for Set is you usually go Cinder Hulk first. So Blue Smite Cinder Hulk is pretty good. Let me look up exactly what the pros are doing. So after this point, there are like a few different item variations. So after this point, if you need armor, Dead Man's Plate is good. If you need magic resist, then there are a few items that you can go for magic resist. First one could be possibly the Adaptive Helm, depending on if you're against like a Cassiopeia or Kog'Maw. You can go Spirit Visage if you'd like, if you have healing on your team. The best tank item in the game that gives you armor and magic resist and health is Gargoyles, but you won't go for a first item. You can if you like. If you really need to be like a frontliner, it just makes it so like you're not as like strong having like the extra DPS from Deadman's like basic attacks deal a little bit more damage, and you have the extra move speed. But I like going Deadman's play pretty early. Merc Treads is also good if they have a lot of CC. Armor, so here you can actually even go like Randuin's Omen, because when you get on top of people, you slow them really easily. You can go Warmogs as well, because it gives a bunch of HP, and then after this, like it pairs up really well with like Gargoyles. So usually you'd be like a little bit higher level, so you'd be like at the 3000 HP marker, so it does heal you. And then after this, we level up, gold, Gargoyles, and this is the OP thing. So if you're around 3 enemies and you cast Gargoyle, it doubles your HP for like the amount of time that you have the upgrade Gargoyles. So it's pretty insane. You're pretty much unkillable at this point, right? Because you also have a giant shield. That's why tank stat is pretty good in the jungle, because not only do you have tank stats for your base HP, but you also have it for the giant shield. So if you take like a bunch of damage, like we're gonna go in their base right now, and we're gonna take a bunch of grit. This is a 1800 damage grit, or 1800 shield grit, which is pretty nuts. So that's it for just like my jungle recommendation for set. And let's go into in-house, guys. Let's do an in-house game, and yeah, we'll go into more jungle tracking in the in-house game when we play against, you know, the in-house players. So yeah, let's do it. Also, feel free to ask questions in chat too. Can you play Ezreal jungle? I'm gonna try and get a set jungle game in for this in-house, just because we just went over set. Ezreal jungle is really good too. Why is mid jungle bad in low elo but good in high elo? It's because mid jungle is a high skill cap champion, so lower elo players don't have as much practice on Nidalee. Alright guys, let's do the in-house. I'm gonna create the game now. It's gonna be on the NA server, so please join on the NA server. ProGuides in-house is the room name. We're gonna do draft mode. Password is gonna be 123. Alright, let's do it. Do I play Minecraft? No, I haven't played Minecraft in a while, but I have played it before. How to track enemy jungler as a mid laner. So same concepts as if you were tracking them as a jungler. Look for where he leashed. If he leashed, then he's going to be pathing up, so ward for the top side. Or if you ward for enemy raptors, you'll see where they are generally speaking. It's good to ward enemy raptors, because then you can see if they gank mid after they do raptors. How do you get Dragon Herald when you don't have prio in any lane? So try and get prio through ganking for it. Forcing prio through ganks is one way to get prio. In most cases, the top lane scuttle would have been taken from the enemy jungler until you have full cleared. It's still worth the full clear. So you don't wanna full clear if the top scuttle is not yours already. So for example, full clearing is good if the enemy jungler is starting opposite side going for other scuttle, but if you're not trying to full clear, then it's good to rush the scuttle grab. So for example, you want to do as many camps until 315 and then go for the scuttle grab. Or you can do 3 camps into fast gank, and then that gives you priority in one of the lanes that are near the scuttle grab, and that guarantees the scuttle grab. If you guys are interested in more of my guides and all this stuff, make sure to check out my social medias at ProGuides. Well, you should check out ProGuides.com, but also check out my social media at twitch.tv/MikeYeung. It's in the description below, as well as my Discord, discord.gg/MikeYeung. And then I also offer, weekly bi-weekly coaching content on my Patreon, patreon.com/MikeYeung. So you can look up all that stuff. It's all in my Discord, it's all in my Twitch. So check it out if you have free time. Let's ban some random champ, a Railing Soul. Who is stronger, Rek'Sai or Fiddle right now? I think Fiddlestick's probably stronger, especially in solo queue and lower elo solo queue, because you can get away with scaling junglers more in lower elo.
Think what I could offer.
Let's do set.
Undisputed.
How can you come back from being tracked well early game, especially if you are a very snowbally jungler like Evelyn? So in this situation where you're being tracked, you want to kind of diversify your pathing by don't start on the same side as the enemy jungler. So for example, if you're always starting blue, try and switch it up and start red buff. And other thing as well is if you really want to hide your jungle pathing, then you want to solo start. I know Eve is pretty shitty at solo starting, so maybe Eve is not the best jungler for that. But if like you're playing Jarvan or Trundle or Olaf, you can solo start. And then that makes it harder for them to see, oh, he started here, well he's gonna path up. So solo starting is one way to go if you are being tracked well. Would you recommend playing off-meta champs if you like him? Yeah, for sure. I definitely think, like Comfort, you should play champions that you enjoy. Alright, so a few things that we noticed, they have a ton of C. We're going to be building Merc Treads. If you have no prio mid, how to punish a heavy scaling jungler? So play around your side laners that prio, or either you can gank mid for prio. If you have no prio mid, if it's gankable, then you can force ganks. You have 3 lanes to work off of, so if you can't go through mid, look to see if you can go through another lane. How do I feel about Udyr? Do I think he's decent? I think Volibear is just a better Udyr. They both run at people, but now Udyr, it seems a lot weaker than Volibear because Volibear has like all the new updated abilities. Don't worry about your teammates blaming you. If you don't have prio to get dragon, then you can't get dragon. If you can't gank for prio, then you can't get dragon either. Pacho. Losing first dragon isn't the end of the game. For example, if you're hard winning top, you should play around your top lane and give first dragon. Do you think that Riot should continue to buff Volley? No, I think he's in a good state right now. I think he's finally reached, around the higher 50% win rates, like 53, 54% win rate. So I think he's in a good state right now. How to not tilt when all lanes blame you? Just think about it as like the laners are just venting to the jungler because it's a way to make them feel better, because uh it take it as they're not doing it to, attack you. They're just more of like venting in order to make themselves feel better so they don't have to, you know, blame themselves. It's something like that because in the end of the day, like there's no point in blaming anybody else besides yourself when you're playing solo queue because you're not here to give them like coaching lessons. You're here to get better yourself or to climb, and you're never gonna play with the same player probably ever again. Yo, what's up, Kuragus? Is it okay to trade Drake for Herald when bot lane feeding, yep, for sure. Don't play around losing lanes. It's harder to get losing lanes up to speed than to snowball your winning lanes. It's so much easier to snowball your winning lanes. Who is the best jungler to learn at the moment? I've learned Fiddle and Warwick so far. Best junglers to learn at the moment are possibly Set Jungle, possibly Fiddlesticks and Volibear, Grundle, Warwick, Amumu. These are easier junglers to learn. Low mechanics, very strong, very good team fighters, decent scaling as well. Talus jungle is very difficult to pull off. You'd have to be very good at the champion. So enemy jungler is Jax. Jax likes to prioritize single target camps. So we're still loading. someone has a toaster, something like that. How do you choose which lane you will gank first? A few things: gank setup, volatility, trading patterns, and lane wave state. Also where they ward. So tracking where they ward is pretty important too. You can always tell where a laner wards if you look at the mini map, just from like a small movement. It's very easy to tell. Or if you just look at their lane. So this game, top lane I'm guessing is going to be very volatile because their trading patterns or they just like run into each other in the fight. So we're gonna path the top lane early. This is an example of like pathing top lane is pretty good because top lane bruiser matchup, easy to impact. So you can always do this trick as well, where you base, you put your ward down, change the sweeper. Now you have sweeper and you have the ward down. Ooh, he's dead. Oh, a little bit unfortunate. So now bot lane is actually extra volatile because our bot lane doesn't have flash heal on Ashe.
Minions have spawned.
Got the ward. They might be invading here. Red Trinket's good. Okay, Aatrox, he warded here. There's a chance they actually find this. Okay, we're actually gonna skip Dolgons. Raptors here. So there's a chance Jack started top. I think Jax actually did start top. So he started top. This means it's actually fine to full clear, because we're not in a rush to get top scuttle. But this also means that Jax is trying to gank bottom, so our bot lane has to be extra careful. Using E for damage. So we're gonna ping like where Jax is, just so everybody knows that he's going for bottom side scuttle. And top knows he's safe. So carebot. So we'll type it out too, because it's so obvious that Jax is pathing bottom because he started top. because he wants to gank the flashless Ashe. So we're gonna do Scuttlecrab here. Kind of canceled an auto there. We're kind of like watching the map at the same time. There's a chance his camps should be up. We're gonna look for those camps. Because Jax likes to skip Raptors. There, and he's missing. What the heck? So Jackson still be here. Wukong's playing a little bit more aggressive now. Yeah, we can look for the Wukong gank here. We have a stun available here too. Okay, Wukong was a little bit too close to his tower there. He can actually base now. Down to actually base. Doesn't look like he's gonna be walking up anytime soon there either. We can get boots here. Just make it so our ganks are a little bit stronger. I would consider getting Scuttlecrab, or I would consider getting Pink Ward as well. Okay, we see Jax. He actually skipped bottom Scuttle, so that's a little bit weird. So Jax is gonna be pathing down. He's gonna probably be at Wolves, or he's gonna be at Tribush, looking for a top gank. I think we'll actually defend the bot gank situation here if Jax does path down. We're gonna start with a sweep here. We're gonna be ready to fight if they do walk up. Okay, I can walk up now. Here we go for Morg. Nice. So we push in the wave. Then I'm gonna go for Scuttlecrab here. Auto, Q. Now we can do camps. Maxing Q. Enemy Raptors is spawning soon as well. After you get jungle item, Raptor is very easy to do because you do AoE clear. Now we can head to enemy Raptors. Enemy Raptors spawning. Damn, it's really unfortunate that... Oh, there's a Jax. So we can actually push him out of here first. We can actually eat him. Okay, push him out, so there's no chance he can stop me on the Raptors. W for the AoE. Finish this Raptor camp. And then Jax is probably going to be on top side because he ran on double golems here. We see him in the top gank. Sweep this. Maybe we can get Jax. Catch him off guard. Holy shit, look at that movement speed. We traded 1 for 1 there. We could have just taken the flash there and didn't have to flash that for the kill. But it's not bad taking the kill. As long as Wukong doesn't snowball from that 1 kill, we're chilling. Now we're gonna do red buff. And now we have Hex Flash. So let me show you guys how you can be pretty creative with Hex Flash. You can actually dodge a lot of ganks with Hex Flash, and you can dodge a lot of wards. Save a lot of time too. So for example, if I do this red buff here, and then want to do dragon, I can Hex Flash over, or I can Hex Flash towards bottom lane to get the bottom faster. So we're actually gonna, well actually we have a Blast Plant, so we don't need a Hex Flash to bottom. And now we're gonna ping that we're heading bottom here. So we're gonna actually just Hex Flash over here. Ulti him. Ooh, we kinda inted that. I used my W for the kill, but I should just save W for the extra HP. because I was tanking a ton of tower damage. I thought I would kill Morgana before she'd get the binding on me. But it's still a double kill, and we do get an extra plate, and we make them lose a wave. So it's actually still really good for us. So we should do our camps top to bottom, because we have all camps up now. Or we can play for Herald. So let me just sweep Herald just to make sure Jax is not on it. Pulling the Grom. The top's actually fighting really hard here. We can see based off the champion models in the minimap, we're gonna head up there. We also have Hex Slash from like this gank area. We don't actually need a Hex Slash. Jax is bottom. So this is actually a good time to do Herald here. We're gonna do Herald. We're gonna take his Raptors. And it's possible we can actually dive top again. If Long chases Aatrox here. So we don't have to, but it does seem like a decent bait idea. Boom. Freaking clean. Now we can match W, max W, build Merc Treads, because they have a lot of CC, then build into Dead Man's Plate. Now we can play bomb side as well. So we can do 2 camps into bottom, or we can just run bottom right now. We're probably going to get this wave, so we're going to give this wave. It's completely fine. So you want to gank off of wave timers. Actually, they're playing safe. Maybe they're listening to the stream all of a sudden. And here we can actually get a pink ward down in dot. This is the best pink ward spot that you can possibly get. Let's just do dragon actually. We have 4 people grouped up here in the river. Typically you would pull it out, but in this case, like, it's completely fine since they're not contesting. So we have flash up again. I think in this situation, let's try and burn a spell shield. Oh, he didn't spell shield. We can actually get the tower without using Herald and save Herald for like a different tower. So for example now, Herald mid. We save the Herald here, so we can get the mid tower. It's really unfortunate that their mid laner did DC, but we're just gonna try and speedrun this one. Just so we can end this game fast. So counter jungling on set's really, really good. Decent look. Maybe if I can ulti him before he uses his clone. Or if he already used his clone. Ooh. I didn't need to walk forward there. There's a Jax. He wins this because level 10 to 7. So he can actually take this fight. Close. So my Aatrox had that kill already. I probably didn't even have to EW. I just needed to use E once. And just walk out and then use W to tank the tower shot. Then we're gonna do top clear. Actually, Wukong's playing pretty aggressive here. We can catch a wave for him top if he wants to save TP. Actually, I think I'm just gonna let him TP so he can take the farm. We have a bunch of CS takes, so we're just gonna take our camps. Enemy raptor spawning again, so we can take his raptors. It's always good to keep track of camp respawns on the enemy side so you can keep on taking them on refresh. Also allows you to pressure aggressively too. Tracking that Jax is bottom there. So because Jax is on his bottom camps here, this does open up for a top dive situation again. So we're gonna use Hack Splash to get on top of him. We don't even need to, but this is kind of for fun. Gonna ulti first. EW to get the guaranteed hit on the W. Then they can get top here. I'm gonna base right now because I do have my item. And I can get Herald out of base.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Why haven't you gone for Tiamat? So Tiamat does slow down your core items a little bit too fast. So that's why I don't go Tiamat on set. Also, his clear is just completely fine without Tiamat. Like, he has a good clear without Tiamat. He's not one of those junglers that benefit too much from Tiamat. Yes, his clear is already so good. Also, when you rush a Cinderhulk, you basically get the Tiamat passive because when you cast the burn, the immolate on your minions and monsters, it pretty much one-shots them anyway. So we can end this game with this Herald. Let's try and end actually with this Herald. Hitting them up with the dives. Wukong. Nice. I think they should just let us end here so we can save some time. Let's see. Gotta be careful. Jax is here now. Get the tower at least. Ooh, alright, nice. We got the tower. So the next item you'd usually go is you can go Warmogs. That would give you 3000 HP, give you the Warmogs passive. Or you can go the Gargoyle Stone Plate. Now, I don't think Titanic Hydra is necessary on Set jungle at all. I think it's kind of not worth it. You want a damage, if you want a DPS item, a better item would be Black Cleaver for jungle Set. Or if you really want like extreme DPS, then Blade of the Ruin King. Blood Razor is not it. Cinderhulk is so OP on Set jungle because you want to be tank. You want to be a tank Set. Because you already do so much damage. You just want to be harder to kill so you can stay in the fight longer. Because look at like the you don't need Tiamat, Titanic Hydra, or any damage stats. Look at how fast I'm clearing the jungle camps. It's because we're abusing the fact that Set has really high base DPS. So we're just gonna stack HP and more survivability so we can stay in the fight longer. Is Set jungle effective in ranked games? Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to check out the game that SKT played against Dragon X, Cuz played Set jungle there, and they pretty much smurfed that game. Would you recommend the 45% Seaguar build on Trundle or the Cinderhulk into Frozen Heart Spirit Visage? So I would go Wukong's like, GG, I killed Set twice. I would go the Trundle build with either the supporting items if you have like a hyper carry, or I would go the what's it called? I would go the tanky build with Randuin's Spirit Visage if like you want to be a straight up frontline tank. The problem with Frozen Mallet is that it's a very expensive item. So that's why it's not being played a bunch and it's not being built a bunch. So be careful with Frozen Mallet and going that early. So let's go back into the topic of watching, you know, since that was a fast in-house game, we do have plenty of time. We have around like 30 minutes to go into other games, and we can learn more about jungle, we can learn more about tracking the enemy jungle. So we're gonna head into other replays and do that. If you guys are enjoying the stream so far, make sure to check out my social medias below. You know, at twitch.tv/MikeYeung, discord.gg/MikeYeung. It's all really good stuff. If you guys are enjoying like the jungle content, then you're gonna be able to see more of the jungle content there. So let's check out this game with Lee Sin right here. Actually, no, this Graves game is quite nice. Is Volibear a good pick in high elo? I do think Volibear is really strong right now. After the hotfix, definitely try him out. So this game actually, let me change the scene. So in this game, it's actually a pretty good game because the enemy jungler kind of plays like a low elo jungler. So this is like, you know, challenger MMR, but the enemy jungler is playing like spam ganky. So let's see how we track the enemy jungler. So we go for the invade. Okay, actually first before I go into this invade, few things to note. that I have a Soraka top. So Elise is probably going to be trying to camp top because Soraka's pretty immobile. Renekton has gank setup. Mid lane, I have Syndra mid. Our 2v2 mid is pretty nice. He has good gank setup on Camille. Camille can try and gank Syndra, but it's really hard because Syndra has the knockaway. Bot lane's going to be pretty spicy as well because it's hook champ versus hook champ, so both supports have really good setup. So these are a few things to keep in note. You want to build a habit of just like analyzing the lane states. Then we go for the invade because we're stronger level 1, so it's good to force a brawl here. So I kind of tank a little bit too much damage on the red there. It's actually fine because we have Syndra here now, and we take the fight. So Syndra kind of like pushes them away. So it's really good that Syndra pushes them away. We take the red. I should actually take this Raptors here. I was considering actually just cross-mapping and heading to mess with him on his blue. But I see that my bot lane is basing, so we don't do that. So because my bot lane's basing, we don't actually go for his blue. It's not good because my mid lane is kind of like not ready to follow up with as well. So we just go into my red. And now we know that Elise is at blue. It's very easy to track that Elise had to blue because we pushed him out of this side of the jungle. So I go for Bomb Scuttle because I expect that Elise is probably going to go for Bomb Scuttle. So we deny the Bomb Scuttle here because we do have, you know, the stronger level 3 power spike. Because I do have red buff. Elise without red buff is a lot weaker than Graves without red buff. And also just because my lanes can move first. So even though this wave is, there's more minions on this wave, Nautilus has an inside track to the river. So we kind of take the fight here. We're not really scared. We just know we're stronger, and I use Smite on the Scuttle Crab, so it's quite free. So I also just win the 1v1. So we just take the 1v1 win. I don't even think I needed to necessarily flash there if we watch it one more time. We're just staying on top of her. Do auto here. I don't even need to flash actually. I can just walk up to her and kill her. I just wanted to secure the kill. And now we get Scuttle Crab. We look bottom because they're fighting. They actually had a ward in the river, so that's why they weren't walking up. So we can just assume that Elise is on top Scuttle here because, you know, she came out of base. So there's a good chance that she's like looking for my top camps. Actually what they're doing is kind of weird, where they're kind of like just camping Soraka. So it's working for them though. But this Camille is not laning, so that's kind of troll. So they actually killed the Soraka here. They trapped the Soraka under tower. I'm just taking top camps here. And then taking my camps. Elise backed off from this wave here. So she's probably going to be on her double golems here. And we can actually turn off fog because this is where things get a little bit confusing. Like before this, it's all very obvious, you know, we invaded his blue, so Elise is going to be at blue. We killed Elise at bot Scuttle, so he's probably going to go top Scuttle into gank top. All this is very standard pathing, and this is where it gets confusing for a lot of people. How do you start tracking the enemy jungler from this point? So Elise probably going to go to double golems here because it's closest camp from top lane. He just ganked top. So we can just assume he's on double golems and pathing down. And this is where you just kind of like lose information on Elise. But we can assume that Elise is probably not going to be bottom side here. Or if Elise is, we pretty much win the fight because I'm 2-0, I have item lead. But it's very unlikely that Elise is here. So we go for the gank. We get the gank. And then at this point of the game, we can assume two things. We can assume that Elise is trying to gank top because of Soraka's wave state. This is where you try and go into the enemy jungler's mindset. If I was this Elise, what's the best play? It would either be to just keep doing my camps because I have extra camps bottom, or to camp this Soraka and zone her from getting CS because Renekton's setting up a freeze. So that's how you track the enemy jungler when you don't have any information. You try and get inside their mindset and where they will go. So two things: top side ganking Soraka, bottom side doing Wolves and Gromp. If he's top side, he could possibly be going for Scuttle Crab, or he could be in this bush already. Let's take a look at where he is. So this is a situation where you give options. So you want to ping Soraka back, and like have it in the back of the mind that he could also just be doing camps. So if we take a look here, Elise is actually bottom side here. It's probably the worser play that Elise did. Because even though he comes here, he just dies. So like, we don't expect that Elise could possibly be in the bottom fight here because the fight's already over. So this is what I meant earlier by like this Elise is playing kind of like a low elo jungler. So don't be turned off or don't be confused if like the enemy jungler plays like kind of strange. Continue to like track the enemy jungler for his most optimal play, because it's important to always consider the most optimal play. If at least does a suboptimal play, then you'll just get a good result in the end, which is this, where we get the double kill. So always consider the most optimal play for the enemy jungler when it comes to when you have less information. When you have more information again, then that's when it's going to be easier to play the game. But when you have less information, just go into the enemy jungler's mindset and be like, if I was this enemy jungler and I was trying really hard to win, what would be the worst thing? How would I be able to snowball the lanes? Where would I be? Where, who would I want to gank? And if you're, this Graves right now, you're like, what would be the worst situation? Where would Elise be right now? What would be the most impactful thing that Elise could do? And so in this situation, it's probably that Elise is going to be topside because he's getting frozen on. We could be wrong about this as well, so we'll check. Elise is topside, clearing his camps. He's probably going to be pathing towards topside here. So yeah, we do see that both junglers are on topside here. So this ward actually does see me because of the sweeper animation. So we can assume that like they know I'm here. And actually this Renekton goes aggressive. And we can just speed through this. I kill the Renekton. I lose the fight against Elise. I kind of messed up. The cocoon still hits me when I try to dash out of it. Otherwise I would kill Elise as well. And Elise is actually starting Herald right here, right away, because we saw her from the ward walking into the river. So there's a chance that she's on Herald. So we run up, break the Herald. They're like, yo, there's Elise here. And we kind of get the kill. Get the kill there. And this is where things get a little bit confusing again, where it's like, where can Elise go from base? So there's two options. You can go to his top side and look to regank the Soraka. Second option, you go into his bot side, try and clear his camps. So what's actually really important here is that you can actually force information by pressuring. So for example, I can pressure mid, force Elise to show mid in order to help Camille, so we can force Elise to show. Either that, or I can just back off the tower and invade the blue, and this forces information too. So when you're counter jungling, it forces information, and it helps you track the enemy jungler. So I hope I go and counter jungle. Well, we actually know that they rotate here, so we're kind of assuming that Elise is behind them. So you can also read like enemy laners movements. So like we see Thresh and Aphelios walking here. It's so obvious what they're trying to do, right? So we're just like walking back. Super obvious, but I actually get caught by it. But I see that Thresh. We're actually killing Thresh here too, so I know they don't have enough CC to kill me here. So I'm actually completely fine, because they killed Thresh too, and we actually faced them here. That's because we dodged their first move time, now our bot lane has a move time, and now we get the kill. And this game's pretty much over from there. So we can leave this game now. Pretty much GG. Dude, how do you full clear on Graves with no potions? You can cancel and kite camps. You can cancel camps auto attacks because your knockback is kind of like a CC to monsters. So that's how you can clear with Graves. Alright guys, so since we do have extra time, let's do a 1v1. Team size 1. Just do blind pick. It's going to be top lane 1v1. The room name is going to be top lane 1v1. Password is going to be 123. Summoner's Rift. Just do blind pick. Alright, let's go Mega. So let's do top lane. We're going to go set. We're going to do these runes. 10% is fine. Lock in. Ready to play. Alright, Mega. Pick your top laner. Any top laner. Blue Smite versus Red Smite Graves. Red Smite's typically better. Blue Smite's good if you're playing against the range champs and you're snowballing. I'm playing on the NA server, Bright. Feel free to ask any questions right now until we get into the laning phase. What are some good AP junglers? Some good AP junglers are Echo. Good AP junglers can be also Eve. Amumu's decent AP jungler in low elo as well. Brackets is good as well, but you have to be pretty good to play him. What runes do you take for set jungle? Phase Rush into X Flash. So check it out on u.gg or something like that. Pez played it the other day as well. Why doesn't NA like to play Wukong in set jungle compared to Korea? Who knows? So against Darius, taking short trades is good. You don't want to all in straight off the bat because he does have his passive for the 5 stacks. But if I get the good stun with my E, then I can actually win the fight. When to go Black Cleaver Death Dance build on Graves instead of the lethality one? Usually against like more bruiser champs that you can't really one-shot, or armor stackers, then that's good. Lethality is good against like squishy champs. Volibear's really strong. I think Volibear's really strong. What makes it a good support? Setting up objectives, getting vision, looking for good engages. Does that Q count for phase rush? Yep, for sure. If you any instance of damage. So we actually can win the level 1 here because he's gonna be stunned here. Oh, he started Q. If he goes for a CS here, we can punish. Oh, got his Q there. I have another E, so we can walk up, look for the stun. Actually, take the trade forward. He has 3 bleed stacks on me. We don't want to let him get to 5. Ooh, we got the flash already. Nice. The set's really OP if you start E and you just go past the minion and then pull him in and it stuns and then double punch. So like for example, right here. We can heal, get out, base. Alright, that GG, or should we play for another kill? Let's play for another kill. Mega's TPing back. So we're gonna TP back too. So let's TP back on the cannon. Get our item. We're level 3 advantage here. So we can take the trade. Take the W trade as well. And it's so fucked for Darius. Because there's no way he can, you know, dash out of my E. And every single time he wants to walk in, we just use our E on him. This is why set's like so broken. Jungle and top. So like if he walks up, we just pull him in. He gets stunned. Oh fuck. We die here? We have health regen. Nice. Don't die. Okay, so now if he pulls me, I'm just instant dead, so we have to play this really well. Waiting for my W. Alright, we take that. We take that kill. Yeah, so but set support is viable. Set support's pretty good. I actually like the set, just the normal. Let's end that here. GG Mega, appreciate it for playing. Let's do one more 1v1, guys. So if you'd like to 1v1, put your IGN in chat. I'll invite this time. I'm gonna play set still, so be ready to play against my set top. If you'd like to play this 1v1, put your IGN in chat, NA region. And we do one more 1v1 before we end the stream. And then I'll probably be streaming on my Twitch at twitch.tv/MikeYeung. So head over there right now at twitch.tv/MikeYeung and hit me up with a follow, and I'll be going live after the stream. Waiting for this client to load out. Is Warwick a strong pick in high elo? Not in high elo, but in lower elo Warwick's pretty good.
I'm undisputed.
Is Bork overbuffed? Yeah, I definitely think Bork is really OP. Yo, greetings from Cyprus. Yo, have a good day too, man. How to use your lead in mid to late game as PTA Urgot. It wouldn't necessarily be just a Urgot specific thing, but if you're stronger in side lane, try and, you know, abuse your side laner and force people to help your side laner, and then this way your team has number advantage. But make sure you don't get caught. Oh, we're against Wukong. Hey Abdul, what's up, dude? Is it better to take Herald or Drake when you're a scaling champion? Well, it depends on which lanes you have prio in. Played on set, it feels so much better. Shield is good against range matchups and poke matchups. But against bruisers, Blade is a lot better. Any advice playing against Urgot? So try to go for the Urgot when his feet are down, like his AoE feet. You can pretty much all in Urgot as long as his feet is down. No, there's no real like specific like advice against Urgot. Besides like make sure to dodge his E make sure to blow his like passive before you all in, and that should help a lot. How do you stop Nasus stacking? So setting up freezes is really good against Nasus. Brings him outside of his tower range, and then makes it so he has to walk all the way here in order to farm. So we have E start again against Wukong. Makes it so he can't even walk up on the wave. We can make him lose a lot of minions here. So we're kind of like... So actually it was really close. We have push. So we have advantage here. We actually just go W actually. So if he does trade on me, and I do have the giant shield. Oh, I missed. Take the giant trade there. You get level 3 from these two minions here. I'll have Q, yep. We're trying to set up a freeze now. We're just gonna bounce the wave. Wave's under tower. We can actually trade with him here when he walks up too far. We have W here too. Boom. So if he actually juked it, then I would W flash down towards here. Kills. Let's keep going for 2 kills. Getting base now. Hopefully he doesn't cancel my base. I think he will. We're gonna have to be ready to back up. In top lane. Get a pink ward. Wanna wait for 6? Nah. So we can actually max W here. Run forward, E, get the stun. See if he uses his clone. Did? Wait. Just standing still. Holy shit, he actually juked me. That was kind of clutch. I saw the animation. Or I thought I had saw it. So we can push in the wave. Set up a freeze. Ooh. That was almost a max W, so he's really low. On our next W, it's diveable. So we have another W here. He does walk up to CS. Boom. Got his clone. W for poke. Now he's even lower. We're gonna have ulti soon. We're out. GG. GG. Thank you for playing. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's lesson. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the earlier lesson on the tracking. Make sure to just go back to the beginning of the VOD if you want to refresh on early game, jungle tracking when we go over the VODs. Then we did the in-house game, and then we did a few 1v1s, and we did more VODs. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit me up with that follow on my Twitch, guys. We're going to be streaming on my Twitch at twitch.tv/MikeYeung. Gonna be heading there right now. So peace out, guys. Make sure to check out, the description below for social media, for my social media, for ProGuides social media, all that stuff. So peace out, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll be streaming again tomorrow at the same time, 1:30 EST start. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. Yo, peace, guys. See ya.